Hey guys, it's YOU WACK, and every single time there's a new mode, every single time there's a new thing in the event, people make mistakes. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm far from it, but I think I know a thing or two about a thing or two. I mean, this is my job, so maybe I picked up a thing or two about a thing or two. What I'm trying to help you guys out with today is the new Retribution event game mode. Now, every single game mode can either be taken as serious as May Snowball Offensive or as serious as Uprising, and I feel like the new Retribution event game mode is probably going to be the latter. People are going to be taking it more serious because they want to beat it on Legendary or on Heroic, and some people just don't care and just play on normal, and that's perfectly fine. However, there's a lot better ways to handle Retribution that if you just watch this video, listen to the tips that I figured out while playing the game, then you just have a much more enjoyable experience. You won't get so frustrated with the Moira, you won't get frustrated with the Genji, and you won't hate each other in freaking Retribution, alright? Save that freaking pen. So this is going to be like a full-length guide talking about the heroes, what you need to do with each hero, talk about the ultimates, talk about the enemies, the whole 9 yards. However, I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible, because if I make this complicated guy, it's just not gonna help you out. Rather than just talking about, okay, what do you need to do in this specific area, and then just move on from there. Rather than just talking about, okay, where you need to stand, what enemies come out, which door, and which hero needs. Now, I don't want to do all that because, well, more than likely you're either gonna be solo or with a friend, and you can't control what McCree and Reaper does, and all that kind of jazz. You can only control what you're gonna do, and that way, if you know what you're doing, more than likely you're gonna be able to carry the team, and that's what I want. So let's get right in the video. So the first tip, you guys skip the intro. The first major tip is going to be with the heroes. So the first thing that you do is obviously pick the heroes, and surprisingly in Retribution, you have different roles, and each different role is going to be filled by each different hero. And there's different levels of difficulty whenever it comes to picking a hero. So that's why if you're not that great with Overwatch just in general, you might want to stay away from some of these heroes. So the first hero we got to talk about is going to be the most important hero, which is going to be Moira. So Moira necessarily isn't the most difficult in Retribution, but she is the most important. She's literally gonna be the glue that holds together this freaking family of Black Watch. Reaper's kind of going haywire, you know, he's going through a midlife crisis. So Moira is gonna be important because she's literally the only healer. Yes, Reaper is technically a healer, I guess, if he's shooting down enemies and whatnot, but Moira is gonna be healing. And one big tip that I can give you is that you can literally never heal enough. Literally, you think you're done healing, you're not. You're not done healing, especially in Legendary. So remember, you're the primary healer. You don't really want to be giving off DPS because you have 3 other heroes that's also going to be getting DPS. So really, when you're going into team fights, be ready to heal, but also throw heal balls into fights because you don't know how beneficial it is to just the DPS heroes when the ball is near them. And also just constantly keep spraying them with your Gamer Girl P. Now, the hardest hero is going to be McCree. The reason is just because he has no self-heal, he's not very mobile, he doesn't have a lot of protection, and he also needs to be accurate. So if you're not accurate with your shots, and if you're not ready to literally die a bunch, please don't play McCree, because McCree is literally the hardest hero. Like, some can say Genji is because he has to be in the nitty-gritty things, whereas McCree, he has to stand in the back, but just McCree is very hard. Just remember to save your flashbang for like the shotgun heroes and the big bosses, because that's gonna come in handy, especially with like the assassin. I'll get to that later. Now, Genji and Reaper are just kind of like in the middle, but Genji is probably the most versatile, right? Genji is pretty important whenever it comes just to dashing through the little heroes, just these little minions or whatever. You know, you can just get chain dashes and just get off a lot of DPS. And another thing that a lot of people kind of forget about whenever it comes to those pesky shotgun heroes is that Genji is able to deflect those shotgun heroes, and every single time he gets a headshot, he eliminates half of their HP. So you just have to throw a few shurikens, dash through them, and they're automatically dead. So Genji is awesome whenever it comes to the shotgun heroes, and that's just my big tip for him. Reaper, he's just like kind of there. You know, he's just kind of doing everything. He's not really going around. He's not over the place, but he can do a lot of damage to the shotgun heroes, do a lot of damage to the big bosses and whatnot. He's just not very versatile, but he's not versatile. You know what I'm trying to say? I had a brain fart right there. Hopefully you understood that. Now that you picked your hero, you need to remember one thing. If you're playing with 3 other friends, unfortunately I can't because nobody loves me, but if you're playing with 3 friends or just anybody, please stick together. don't split off right after you blow the door open and go on to the sides. It's just a recipe for disaster, because then you gotta walk back and you put yourself in danger because you gotta sit. It's just terrible. Rather than just, if you stick together, it's much easier to take on the enemies, and it's much harder for the enemies to just kill you. It's like competitive. If you stick it together as a team, you're probably gonna live as a team rather than just dying separately. Now, the next step to beating Retribution is gonna be ultimate usage. This is one thing. Oh my god, boys, homies, girls, don't care what you are, doggies. Please do not waste your ultimates. Now, what is wasting your ultimates? Literally using it in minions, especially in the starting room. Moira is probably going to be the first one that gets her ultimate first. Now, what I see a lot of Moira players do is when they see a bunch of minions or shotgun enemies next to each other, they use it. You can naturally take them out. If you can't take them out, if you're struggling, well, either A, you suck, or B, your team sucks, or C, probably everyone sucks. But if you can't take them out, if the DPS or anybody can't, well then, you need to get good, or maybe you just don't belong in Legendary. So the starting room, please do not use an ultimate. Even when going to face against the sniper, you don't need to use your ultimate. Well, when do I use my ultimate, bro? The first starting room that I like to do it is next to the river where the boats come in. If you can't do it naturally, this is a part that maybe experienced players or not so skilled players with these heroes don't know how to handle, so maybe you want to use your ultimate against maybe these 4 shotgun heroes. I think it's 4. It can be overwhelming when you have a sniper and shotgun enemies coming at you, so if you want to use maybe 1 or 2 ults, go ahead, but don't use all of them, because this is a mistake that I fall under, because I want to be the hero, I want to save the team, and then Reaper and of course Moira is using their ults, and I'm just over here slicing and dicing a freaking minion. Granted, he tastes good, but all jokes aside though, you want to have a fair distribution of when you use your ultimates. Well, when you use your ultimates for the boss fights. Now, the bosses are something that's very important because, well, first of all, this is where you're going to pour your ultimates, but you also have to know what you need to do. Now, I need to talk about the boss fights before I talk about when to use your ultimates, because you can already be probably thinking, oh my god, I gotta use my Genji Blade against the sniper. No, the sniper is really easy to take out, because the biggest tip and the secret that I can give you is just scare her away. Make her grapple away from somewhere else, because the thing about this sniper is that she takes time to set up. When she's setting up, you have time to put damage into her, and she's really easy to take out because you just gotta hit her in the head and she'll drop down, and she won't snipe you right away if you scare her away. How do you do this though? You usually go into waveform with Reaper, and she might pull out her pistol when she sees you, but when she does that, she does not have enough damage than if she was just sniping. So that's the easiest way to take out the sniper. Yes, sometimes you can deflect her shot with Genji, but it's just a recipe of disaster if you miss your deflect with Genji, because now you're down. Now, the next freaking boss that a lot of people don't know how to take out, which is surprising, is going to be the assassin. Yes, the assassin can be hard, but it's literally all up to McCree, because the thing about the assassin is that if you flashbang her, if you stun her, she's going to be sitting there for a hot minute, and you're going to be able to put more damage into her, rather than just having to use your ultimates and waste them because you missed, and then she stuns you and then brings you down. You know, there's a lot of, the assassin is not that hard in retrospect as terms of ultimate usage. You just have to be focused, and McCree just has to flashbang her, but also try to avoid her. She's not that hard in retrospect. Now, the next one is going to be Roadhog's cousin with Mongoose turrets for hands. It's going to be the heavy enemy. Now, I don't know his name. Frankly, I don't want it because he's scary, he is hard, and this is the hero that you pour all your ultimates in. A good organized team can literally go through the whole entire mission before they meet the big heavy guy and not use a single ultimate. However, there are going to be times where you need to, maybe with more ult, and I'm not encouraging to do it because, well, there are going to be times that you should use an ultimate because you're just kind of wasting valuable time that you could be regenerating your ultimate charge. However, you probably want to use all 4 ultimates, maybe not at the same time, against the heavy assassin. Now, again, this guy can just turret you down, and you might think, oh, I can just Genji deflect. Yeah, but his turrets last longer than your deflect, and you're in his line of sights, and you just died right there just as soon as I said that. So that's why you want to try to just gun him down as much as possible, and usually you do this after he charged, because more likely he's setting up again and he's taking his time to get his turrets back up, and now you can put in more damage. Another helpful tip with McCree is going to be with his flashbang again, because when he's setting up for his turrets, you can just flashbang him and then put in more damage. This could be with Genji right in front of him, and Reaper. Reaper has to get right in front of people, and since he's so big, Reaper is going to be the key element, but he can't get in front of him because his turrets just gun him down so quick. So remember, McCree flashbang's so helpful, but it's also helpful just to use all your freaking ultimates. heads. And just by me explaining that, pretty much just went through the whole entire thing up until the very end. And now this is going to be hard because, again, you're going to have a heavy, you're going to have a sniper, you're going to have all these minions and shotgun heroes. Just remember my little tips that I give you. Whenever it comes to Genji, you can deflect the shotgun hero and take him out yourself. You don't really need the whole entire team to focus shotgun heroes. That is assuming that Genji knows what he's doing. The flashbang with McCree can take out these bosses, can take out the assassin especially. Moira, you can never heal enough. If you think you're done healing, you're not done healing. Reaper needs healing, Genji needs healing. These are all fragile DPS and you might get annoyed by all of them needing healing, but the only way they can really go in and get damage if they're in the nitty gritty things. So remember, throw a ball into fights and you'll give them more sustainability. Reaper, just get right in front of people, but also try to team up with McCree. It's just all about teamwork, and everything that I just talked about up until the very last point is all embodied into the last point. The assassin, the heavy, just get to the point when it gets there. You don't have to face the heavy. It's as easy as pie. You just have to either A, know how to work with your heroes that you're playing, or B, work with your teammates. And that's a basic guide of how to win Retribution. Pretty easy, right? Pretty simplified. I didn't tell you, oh, you need to stand right here with Genji and Moira needs to be right. No, I don't want to. That's not going to help probably 95% of you guys because you don't have a team that you can play. Maybe you do, but if you know how to play the heroes and you know their strengths and you know how to scare away the enemies or take out the bosses, you're gonna be fine. It's pretty easy in retrospect. I keep saying retrospect, but just think of the big picture of what Retribution pretty much is. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully the tip video helps you out, even if you're in normal mode, because hey, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Retribution videos and Overwatch videos to come, and bye.